Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Moe. I'm an M&A advisor in the San Francisco Bay Area. And what we're doing is creating a show that has, I think, good information for people typically selling their business for the first time. So I'd like to bring on a guest right now, Greg Carpenter. He's our managing director at Horizon M&A Advisors. Greg, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure, and thanks for the nice introduction. I've been working in the financial services business, selling businesses since 1985. Sold hundreds of businesses and really enjoy it. Enjoy helping people and helping them make transitions into another life compartment by providing liquidity for them in the sale of their business.
An exit for a business owner is a life-changing occurrence. Quite often, it's probably going to be at the end of their career. And we want to give them the best chance for it to go smoothly and get what they want in selling their business. And that has a lot to do with good financials. We need a very profitable business, and we need the financials to be very transparent and clear. And Greg's going to talk about that here.
When you go to sell your business, buyers and bankers are going to want to examine your financials. You have to make sure before you get to that point that your financials will be audited successfully. Now, many business owners think, "Oh, I'm taking good care of my financials. There's not going to be any problem with them." And sometimes they even say, "Well, I've actually got an outside CPA who's helping me with my financials, so I'm sure there'll be no problem." Well, as brokers, we appreciate that you think you're doing well. But to quote an old saying from Ronald Reagan, trust but verify. Here's a couple of reasons why. I sold a plumbing business several years ago, and the first time we put it on the market, it looked very good. It had sales of in excess of $10 million, earnings around $2 million. Nice business. And I challenged the owner about his financials. And he said, "Oh, I'm sure they're fine because I have an outside CPA who does my taxes. And if there were anything wrong with my financials, I'm sure she would tell me about it." So we went to market. We got a great offer, got in contract. And the first thing that the buyer's accountant found when he started checking through the books and records was that, oops, guess what? The bank statements don't add up to the annual revenues. Well, as it turns out, they had an accounting procedure error that were causing them to overstate their revenues. So, of course, that also made the earnings overstated. So you can imagine if you were the buyer and you found this, you would think, "Oh my God, these guys are cooking the books." So we lost all credibility with our buyer. The deal went away. And the problem was the seller did not understand that just because you have a CPA doing your taxes, that CPA is not necessarily examining your accounting procedures and your financials to make sure they're accurate. All the CPA is really going to do is they're going to take the internally prepared financials that your accounting clerk, probably not even a degreed accountant, made, and they're going to turn them into tax returns. So unless there's something really obviously out of whack, like your balance sheet doesn't balance or something like that, they're not going to look into your accounting at all. And they have no responsibility to do so unless you sign up and engage them to go through and examine these things for you and make sure that your financials are accurate and correct. So that
Let's,
was,
oh, I'm sorry. What I was going to say then, it seems quality of earnings has always been from the buy side, and we're starting to see it more from the sell side. Would you recommend business owners doing a sell side quality of earnings or Q of E?
yes. And just for everyone's edification, what we're calling a quality of earnings is actually an audit by an independent third party. And when we say sell side quality of earnings, That's an independent audit that the seller hires to examine the books and records, the accounting procedures, and all the adjustments used in calculating the adjusted earnings of the business. That's a really, really important number because the market price of the business is often a multiple of those earnings. So we advise our sellers to engage a consulting firm to do a sell side quality of earnings and identify all of the earnings of the business so that the value of the business is maximized. And when we get to the due diligence process after we've accepted an offer, that the auditor for the buyer will approve everything and it'll check out and the deal will go to a successful conclusion. As you might imagine, a lot of deals never make that successful conclusion because the books don't check out. And that means the seller has to go back to square one, and we as brokers have to go back to square one as well and do all
Yeah.
that work to correct everything that was wrong, and then go back out to market, find another buyer, and go through the whole process again, which can take months. So we can't argue strongly enough that you really need
Yeah.
to get a sell side quality of earnings report before you take your business to market so that
And,
you can get all the way to closing and only have to sell your business once.
and sellers, it is pricey. It's going to be probably 25 to $50,000 depending on the size of your business. But when you're selling a business for, millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars, that investment is going to make it a lot easier for the buyers to trust your numbers. More than likely, they're going to have their own quality of earnings, but it's going to move along a lot faster when all the possible, issues were brought out through that quality of earnings. So, hey, Greg, I'm going to wrap it up there. That was great. I just want to say thanks for being on and everybody watching. If you want to get in touch with us, there's Greg's information at Horizon Mergers and Acquisitions and mine. Feel free to reach out, call us or email, and we're very happy to get on a call and walk you through the steps, introduce you to people like people that do quality of earnings, and it'll be worth your time. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Kris.